Hello, I'm Liz Crabtree, Director of the Hettenhausen Center for the Arts. We've missed seeing you in person, but we're grateful that we're still able to see each other in a virtual community because music is better together. Thank you for joining us as we celebrate Women's History Month at McKendree University. Our concert features the work of women composers, artists, and poets who have made a lasting impact on the arts. Since 1995, by presidential proclamation, March has been designated Women's History Month to highlight the achievements, contributions, and vital role of women in American history and contemporary society. We're so grateful for the many members of our campus community that helped make this event possible, and we extend our deep appreciation to them. Please welcome Christine Brewer, our McKendree Choir Department, our McKendree art students, and members of our faculty and staff.
Night comes, a Madonna clad in This month marks the one-year anniversary of the shutdown our country experienced because of the COVID-19 virus. This has been a challenging year for most of us, but at the end of each day, night comes. This is one of the reasons I was drawn to the poem that Florence Price set called Night. In the poem, she talks about night coming, lighting her stars, and looking down on that dreamy child, the wearied day. Florence B. Price was born in Little Rock, Arkansas in 1888. She graduated valedictorian from high school at age 14. Miss Price went on to Boston Conservatory, where she studied piano and composition. She was a pianist, organist, and a classical composer. She was the first African-American woman to be recognized as a symphonic composer and the first to have one of her compositions played by a major orchestra, the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. She taught at Clark Atlanta University for a short while before settling in Chicago, as she wanted to escape the Jim Crow conditions in the South. She had a close working relationship with another Black woman composer, Margaret Bonds, and the two of them became good friends with Langston Hughes. They set many of his poems to music. The poet for Night was Louise C. Wallace.
Name Yes, she's been fractured, broken down, and messed around, taken to the heights and dropped down. But she's picked herself up, put the pieces together again, brushed away your dirt and emerged stronger. She may have lost a move, but not the game, and now resilience is her middle name.
Remember what you must do when they undervalue you, when they think your softness is your weakness, and when they treat your kindness like it is their advantage. You awaken every dragon, every wolf, every monster that sleeps inside you, and you remind them what hell looks like when it wears the skin of a gentle human.
Our work should equip the next generation of women to outdo us in every field. This is the legacy we'll leave.
A woman with a book and a pen has the power to move nations. A woman with a mind and a voice has the power to change worlds.
Carolee Coombs Stacy was a consummate musician, the go-to singer in the 1960s and 70s. She was born in St. Louis in 1937 and was a recitalist, soloist at the St. Louis Symphony, the Bach Society, and other professional organizations in St. Louis. She was also the music director at St. John's Episcopal Church in Tower Grove and taught voice at University of Missouri, St. Louis. She composed music and poetry memorable for their beauty. After attending Webster Groves High School, she won a Fulbright scholarship and went to Rome to study, and then to New York. In the mid-1990s, Carolee went to live and work at a Lakota Sioux Indian reservation in South Dakota for 8 years. She volunteered at a shelter for abused women and helped people there, all the while continuing to write music. I knew Carolee and sang much of her music. I would often go to her house and she would play new pieces that she had written, and I would sing through them, with her adding advice about how she wanted certain songs to sound. In the late 1990s, we spent some time at a Trappist monastery in Ava, Missouri, with a few other women from St. Louis. We sang several of Carolee's pieces for women's voices at the Assumption Abbey services. One of those pieces is on the program tonight, Bless This House, her arrangement of that. Carolee died in 2015, and I sang her setting of Ave Maria at her funeral at St. John's Episcopal Church. I'm singing her very beautiful setting of the poem In the Bleak Midwinter by the poet Christina Rossetti.
Angels and archangels He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got the woods and the waters in his hand. He's got the woods and the waters in his hand. He's got the sun and the moon right in his hand. He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got the birds and the bees right in his hand. He's got the birds and the bees right in his hand. He's got the beasts of the field right in his hand. He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got you and me right in his hand. He's got you and me right in his hand. He's got everybody in his hand. He's got the world in his hand. He's got the world in his hand.
The arranger of the song that I just sang was Margaret Bonds. Margaret Bonds was born in Chicago in 1913. She was a composer, pianist, arranger, and teacher. Her father, Dr. Monroe Majors, was an active force in the civil rights movement. He founded a medical association for Black physicians who were denied membership in the American Medical Association because of race. Her mother, Estelle Bonds, was a church musician. Margaret grew up in a home that was visited by many of the leading Black writers, artists, and musicians of the era. She studied piano and composition with Florence Price, and at age 16 began studies at Northwestern University. After earning bachelor and master's degrees in piano and composition at Northwestern, she went on to continue her studies at Juilliard in New York City. Margaret Bonds did much to promote the music of Black musicians. She was the first soloist of color who performed with the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. One of the first Black composers and performers to gain recognition in the United States, she is best remembered for her popular arrangements of spirituals, like He's Got the Whole World in His Hand. She also frequently collaborated with poet Langston Hughes. The two of them joined forces with baritone Daniel Andrews on a collaborated project called An Evening of Music and Poetry in Negro Life.
We'd like to thank McKendree University for their support in helping the Het share art with our community. We look forward to reuniting in person when it's safe to do so. This performance is dedicated to the many talented and diverse women of McKendree, past and present, and to the late Fern Hettenhausen for her generosity and realization of the Het.